this young person. They go over, physically accost her, grab her, get in her face. That's an adult talking to a child. That's inappropriate. That would be inappropriate in the classroom, and it's just as inappropriate on the track. And to do that in such a public way, when you have a young person who has reached at this stage the pinnacle of her track career up to that point, the state championships. This is not some people just running up and down the street. This is the state championships. And you take that as a moment to snatch that away, to sully that moment, to rob and deny her of that moment of standing there on that platform, on that stage, and receiving the medal that she deserves, the medal that she worked for, the excitement that a father would feel when they watch their child achieve their dreams. That's when you've decided to arbitrarily, capriciously snatch and rip that out of her hands. For what? A celebration. A celebration. So it's clapping allowed, but other things aren't? And there's no clear outline about what is and what isn't allowed? And you make a snap judgment that has long-lasting implications. And so those implications are, we've already talked about the damages that it's caused to this family. This family is actually needing to have some counseling around this, some therapy around it. She is an athlete. One of the things that's important about an athlete is not just your muscle, it's also about your mind state. And she refuses to be broken by what these adults did to her. Yes, thank you. I'm going to have to watch my mouth. I'm so passionate because I'm a parent too. I have pride in what my kids do. I have pride in what my other community members do. We support youth. Isn't that the CIF's ultimate obligation? Is to support our youth? You cannot run a quasi-government organization that's responsible to the public as if it's your own personal fiefdom. As if it's your own will that just trumps everything else. And that's what they tried to do to this young girl. To physically go over and grab her and embarrass her in front of her whole community. To strip away the idea that she's a champion and then leave her to pick up the pieces. That's fundamentally wrong. And as I mentioned, they have a window to correct this wrong. We do forgive, but we will not forget. Let's be clear. And so I call on the CIF to right this wrong, acknowledge the champion that she is, and if you don't, and even if you do in some ways, if you won't listen to the will of the people, then maybe you're going to have to listen to a judge. She won on the track, but I guarantee you we will win in the courtroom. She's owed nothing less. And so my office has already reached out to CIF. We haven't gotten a response yet, but they have a certain amount of time to let us know their true intentions. Are they going to be for uplifting our youth in the community or for denigrating another person that's under their thumb? You cannot run that organization in the way it's being run right now, and we're here to address that. Once again, my name is Adante Pointer. I'm the principal, co-founder of a law firm, Pointer & Buolna, Lawyers for the People. We stand with her, and we're very happy to see the world standing with this champion. Thank you. Oh, yeah, please. I'm sorry. Introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Marlon Moreau. I'm also with Pointer & Buolna, Lawyers for the People. And one thing that Adante glossed over, but something that I don't think has been spoken about enough, is the fact that Clara could actually be sitting here as a two-time champion, a champion of a 400 and the 200. And the punishment has to be able, the punishment has to be able to fit the crime. But in this particular situation, it seems like the crime was the manner in which they treated Clara. Yes. It was one thing to strip her of a medal that she deserved, the championship that she deserved. But as Adante spoke about earlier, being an athlete, she had to put that behind her because she had another race. She had another race that she had worked on all year long, worked toward potentially winning another championship. She was the second fastest qualifier in the 200, and she planned on finishing the first that day. And it wasn't until maybe 5-10 minutes before her 200 that she was notified by the CF that she would not be able to run it. So it wasn't just about crushing her after the 400. They sought and successfully crushed her will a second time for no reason, for no good reason. And so we're here because we want the CIF to know that they will be held accountable. Thank you.
And so, listen, I'm Claire's uncle. I'm a lifelong civil rights advocate, former vice president of the state NAACP. The state NAACP president, Rick Callender, wants you to know, Claire, that the NAACP got your back. So, you know, when they picked her, they picked me. They didn't know what they were doing. When they picked her, they picked me. They picked David, who's my wife's nephew, and that's how I'm related to Claire and David. Come over here, Brenda. Well, this is my wife over there, okay? And her sister was his mother. But at the end of the day, listen, and what Dante said is right. This is a relay. And we're handing off to anybody and everybody who's going to be supporting Claire. The 3 million or so people who tweeted that they support her, hear us. Continue to tweet and continue to reach out to the CIF. I think there's an opportunity for you guys to have to speak and hear directly from Claire and David. Can you stand up? Say what you feel.
Go ahead.
Claire.
Hi, I'm Clara Adams. I'm the 400 meter CIF champion. And I was wrongfully disqualified for this fire extinguisher. It's not the one that I used because they took it. It was actually smaller than this. It was smaller than this, so it's crazy, huh? Yeah, I was disqualified for that. After my race, I was happy. I was excited. I walked over to the front of the bleachers to my dad, Coach, and when I went over there, he gave me a high five and just told me he was proud of me, and then he gave me the smallest fire extinguisher. So then, before he gave it to me, he said, walk off the track. Get off the track. Don't do it on the track. So I didn't do it on the track. I walked off the track, made sure I wasn't on the long jump pit. I went on the grass and sprayed my spikes because my feet were on fire. I just ran 53 seconds in the 400 for the second time in my whole life career. So that was a big moment for me. Especially being consistent in a race like that is hard. So yeah, I celebrated. I've never ever celebrated like that ever before in my track career, ever. So for the people who know me, they know. If you guys have been to my track meet before, y'all know that was the first time I've ever done something like that. But I did that because it was well deserved.
Yes,
And
yes.
right. During that race, I beat a USC commit and a Stanford commit. So where am I going?
She's a sophomore. She's a sophomore.
So yeah, after I sprayed my spikes, the officials, not one official, the officials, like 3, 4, they came at me and they started like yelling at me and screaming at me, and one of the officials grabbed my arm. So yeah, that's when my dad went over the fence, because
As he should.
if someone grabbed your child, you would do the same thing. So when he went over the fence, he tried to get over to the field, and then apparently they got the PD like following him and stuff. It was just weird. So when the officials came up to me to tell me, they had to get like 3 officials to tell me that they were going to DQ me, which is just crazy. So the 3 officials came up to me and they were like, "We're disqualifying you for unsportsmanlike conduct." And I was just like, what? Like, I can't even explain like what was going through my mind, because it was just like blank. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wake up. Nah, I was up. And yeah, they told me they were going to disqualify me for unsportsmanlike conduct. And they didn't, that's all they said. They didn't go into depth. They didn't really say, they just said, for what I did, it was unsportsmanlike, you're done. So I kept telling them, okay, call my dad. Call my dad. They kept saying no. They kept saying no. My dad's a coach. He's a coach too. Call him. Still said no. They talked to my head coach, but they didn't talk to my sprint coach, the coach that is there when it's cold outside, when it's nighttime. They didn't call him, so that was weird. What else? So when they told me that I was going to be DQ'd, they just told me that. They told me no, that they weren't going to call him, and then after a while, they just left me standing there. And I had to watch the girls get on the podium without me. I had to watch somebody else get on the number 1 spot that I was supposed to stand on. And that wasn't cool at all. That was wrong. That was foul. Trifling. So many negative words. It was just wrong. And then after that, my dad came and got me. I was just crushed. Yeah, it was really bad. They made me feel like nothing. They tried to make me feel like I did something wrong, but I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I was away from my competitors. I was away from people, so they couldn't say what I did was dangerous, because it wasn't dangerous. Sprayed the floor, I didn't do it on the track. Maurice Green did it on the track, and it was still cool, but I knew I couldn't do it on the track, because if I would have did it on the track, we wouldn't even be here right now. And I knew that. So that's what happened. And yeah, I do need to see counseling, because to be honest, my mental's not really 100% all the way there. And if I'm going to compete this summer, which I have Nike coming up and USATF Junior Olympics qualifiers coming up, and AAU, I have to be mentally stable, and you can't run with a messed up mind. You're not going to run good. I'm not going to perform how I did at state if my mind's not right. So yeah, I need that. And my dad does too. He was there with me. We both need it. So if you know me, especially if you train with me and are on my track team or was on my track team, y'all know how hard I've worked, and y'all know that nobody sees when I throw up on the track. Throw up with my teammates too. I'm not the only one, but y'all don't see that. Y'all don't see when it's freezing, we want to stop. The 150 repeats, man. Them 800s. Y'all don't know. But it's hard, and it's not easy, and I worked so hard for that title. I've been working for it since I was 5 years old. So for it to get taken away like that within minutes was just not cool. It was not cool. And the CIF, really? Like, y'all are wrong for that. Y'all still haven't contacted my dad either. He's right here. So, yeah, that's that's pretty much what happened. And that's pretty much how I feel about the whole situation. I've gotten people that I ran against telling me I did nothing wrong. Even my competitors are saying that it was cool. I got professional athletes texting me that what I did was not a problem, that I'm bringing fun to the sport.
Yes.
You go to a football game, you know you're going to have fun. It's a football game. People are going to do the most when they score. You go to a basketball game, somebody's going to slam dunk. You know it's going to be fun. People are going to go crazy. You go to a track meet. I hear all the time, y'all just running. Y'all just running like how? What's exciting? You know? It's probably only exciting if you really know the sport. But if you don't know the sport, you cannot know football or basketball and know it's going to be exciting. Right. If you don't know track, you think it's boring because they're just running. But what I did, people who I know that don't even know track, my friends who don't even know track, thought it was cool and that I brought fun to the sport. The CIF booth thought I brought fun to the sport. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't regret what happened. If I knew what I did would get me DQ'd, okay, I wouldn't have did it. But I know I didn't do nothing wrong, so no, I don't regret it. If that's what y'all are wondering, no, I don't. Not at all. I'll be fine. I'm going to bounce back because I have to. That's the type of athlete I am. I always do. When I tore my ACL, I was out for like 7 months. That was a really depressing time, but like I said, the type of athlete I am, I always bounce back. So if I can bounce back from that, I can bounce back from this. And I just want my title. I just want my title. That goes on my resume. Coaches look at that. If they look at the results and see DQ, unsportsmanlike, Claire Adams, they're not coming over here. Okay? So, and then the 200, it said did not show. That's a lie. That's a lie. They DQ'd me. They didn't give me a chance to redeem myself in the 200. I knew I was going to run faster. I PR'd the day before. I ran a 23.71. I went sub 24 for the first time. And I knew the next day I was, I get mad thinking about it. Because I know I was going to run faster. I know I was going to run faster because I was feeling myself. I was second seed. And we'll never know what could have happened in that final because they didn't give me a chance to run it.
Oregon.
Right. Oregon, y'all going to see me do that 200. And y'all going to see me do that 400 again.
Yep.
U20.
Even faster.
And, yeah. Just thank you to the people who are here, the NAACP. Thank you to my best friends, Andre and Karina. My teammates, Darrell and Amir and Chris Roro. Thanks to Julian for being here. And Juan Rambo for being here, former teammate. Thanks to my mother for supporting me. And, of course, thanks to this guy, my dad, my coach. And thank you, Uncle Chris Anderson, for helping me and starting my petition list. Thank you. That meant a lot. And then thank you to you guys. Thank you to Coach T for always helping me. He bought me birria tacos after I won. And then thank you to my Uncle Walter for setting this up. Huh? Yeah, Uncle Joey, thank you. He helped me know how to use the fire extinguisher.
He's an ex-fireman.
He's an ex-fireman. So he just told me how to take the thing out. But thank you. It wasn't hard to but just thank you to everybody. Thank you, Jose, for recording for me and following us, and just thank you to everybody that's here.
Yeah, beautiful young lady. Brilliant.
Good morning, everybody. I first want to thank NAACP, thank my uncle for showing up at a time like this. Principal Dr. White, Superintendent Dr. Galvan for being here. Even though I met with them earlier in the week on this matter, they jumped on it right away and showed their full support for Clara. Dr. White's always been supportive of Clara since she's started coming to the school. I want to thank my teammates that are here, my former teammates that are here, Clara's mom. Without Clara's mom, Clara wouldn't be here. Clara was planned, that, by the way. Uncle Chris, Theo Joey. I want to thank everybody for being here. So I'm going to start with that and then give my view on the situation. Clara's celebration. I've been started training Clara when she was 5 and started competing when she was 6. And she made her first national stage when she was 9, when her Junior Olympics in North Carolina. Celebrations. I'm a high school football coach and track coach. And they speak on celebration over celebrating. So we know touchdown dances, all the antics, all the theatrics in football. So then I say, it's okay to do backflips, pull phones out, sign footballs for a touchdown. But in track, you have to just cross the finish line and step off the track. So why is it okay for one, but not the other? Now we talk CIF ruling. They don't have specifics, and that's smart on their part, because when it's up to their discretion, that gives them a lot of power. So it's up to the person how he feels that day. If he don't like the way you walk, the way you run, the way you talk, he can pull the plug on you at any given moment. Those officials, they're supposed to be teachers. But CIF, they're known to be bullies. The gentleman was quick to grab my daughter's arm. And we know CIF has a rule that you can't go over the wall, you can't be on the field. It's well respected. But like I said before, I wear the hats of a coach and a father. And the moment a stranger put their hands on my child, I'm no longer a coach. The wall was kind of high. I weigh about 270. I didn't think about it. I became very athletic that moment. It all came back. I went to go find out what was going on. I knew Clara across the finish line. She came to me, like she said, high-fived her. We're not going to lie, we came into the race knowing we were going to win. That's why the fire extinguisher was there. We knew we were going to win. I believe that Clara cracked the narrative. We know South Section, St. Mary's Academy, they have a girl that's a USC commit. And she was chosen to win since February. South Section always get respect to win everything. Up north, we never get any type of respect, any notary. Central Valley, no respect, no notary. And it bothered us, it bothered Clara, it bothers me. It seemed very disrespectful. Been down to LA twice. Clara's the only one on her team that ran to Mount Sac and ran to Arcadia. It's a national high school meets. They're national. And I went to go down there and get a template against the girl that Clara beat. In the 400, I had Clara take her foot off the gas for 40 meters, purposely. And Clara, the girl better beat Clara by maybe a heel. And I told Clara, I don't want to win Mount Sac. I don't want to be the Mount Sac champion. I want to be the state champion. There you go. So it's a science. It's a science. Fast forward, state championship. We're going to finals in the 400 meter. Clara handled her business. She executed. And they figured that the girl was going to go into a storybook ending with a state championship going into USC. She still gets a storybook ending, but she goes to second place. Right. And that's fine, because the state of California, we're under one division. We're not like Texas and Florida, single A to 6A. That's 6 champions. That's 6. In the state of California, we're under one division. We have our sections. We're under one umbrella. There's one champion. One. Just one. And the 400 meter champion is her, no matter what they say. So I know I ruffled some feathers. I have my opinions on certain things. When I say this, don't quote me on it. Just my opinions. No, I'm saying just don't quote me on it. Just saying that I just believe Clara cracked the narrative, and that ruffled some feathers. The celebration, was, like I said, off the track. I told her that purposely, get off the track. I know how those officials are. I know the way they are. It's a huge governing body, and Claire did what she's supposed to do. She had her fun. One time in her life, she celebrates. And it's part of America is really killing me and my daughter. And I said, you know what? I take full responsibility because if I didn't give her the fire extinguisher, we wouldn't be here right now. She would have been a state champion. But I told Clara that Saturday, I looked at her and I told her when we got to our hotel, she's crying herself to sleep. The cameras ain't there for that. And I told Clara, I said, you know what? This is probably the best, worst thing that's ever happened to you. We wake up, I'm getting messages from CNN, LA Times, Fox News, New York Post. I open my phone just to get online, and I see a big picture of my daughter about this whole thing. Australia News. She's on news overseas, across the water. And I said to say that, you know, from a fire extinguisher that costs $24.99, this is where we're at right now. And we've already been contacted by Princeton, UCLA track, already. Claire's been offered a NIL deal from this. Pac-Man Jones, former Cincinnati Bengal. I won't disclose the amount that was presented to her for a 16-year-old. I think even for somebody my age makes me excited. But Claire's the one running those, you know, she's the one running around that track. It's her, and I think she believes she deserves all the flowers and everything that she gets. I tell her to stay off the internet because it's brutal. You got mostly people that are upset, they're middle-aged men. That's what kind of throws me off. They're mad at a 16-year-old girl. And the ones that are angry, they're ones that's never suited up before a day in their life. They've never been through the sports, the athletic, of none of it. So, you know, they have an underlining hate for athletes. Just like those CIF officials, majority of them never played sports before. They're rule thumpers. And then when you ask them what the rule is, they can't answer. That's why they're not answering calls. They're not answering KSPW. They're not answering CNN. They're not answering KION. Why are you hiding? You only hide when you've done something wrong. We're not hiding. You guys seen us all over there. You just Google Clara and we popped up everywhere. At least 4 pages, 5 pages of us. I say that to say that moving forward, you know, we're going to keep the fire extinguisher in the trunk in case of emergency. I gotta worry about getting Clara's mental right because Nike found out about it. We got an alert. She has an opportunity to do something good, to do something big under the U20. You know, Clara's only 16.
Right, exactly.
And she's able to go to the U20s because she runs NCAA times already. All Claire has to do is make podium. She only got to cross the finish line first. If she can just make podium, this is bigger than CIF state championship. Nike National is a national event. National. So they say things are happening for a reason. At the time when you're going through the struggle, you don't know because it's so hard. But this Nike thing is a really big situation. She gets to run the 400 and the 200. And the high school 200 will be the Emerge Elite. And for the 400, she'll be running against girls from University of Arkansas, lane 5, University of Kentucky, lane 6. It's not going to be like, you know, North County, lane 4. These are going to be college girls. These are going to be college girls. This is a really big deal. Those girls drove to the meet. You know, Claire can't even drive yet. You know, they got their own apartments, you know, so that's a big deal. CIF, a message to them is, like the attorney said, Pointer said, we just want to give you guys a chance to do the right thing. There's a window of opportunity, and we all know windows close. That's our first approach, non-aggressive. Just do the right thing, crown this queen, give her what she earned, okay? Give her what she worked hard for, what she earned. It wasn't given to her. We all saw the video. I released that. Messiah 712 released that. We showed everything. We have nothing to hide, okay? The thing about CIF is what it is that you got to deal with her for 2 more years. And I'm telling you, next year, put your seatbelts on. It's gonna be like a scary movie. It's gonna be like a scary movie because now it's personal. It's personal now. So it's on a whole nother level. Our whole family is personal now. So they woke up as the sleeping giant. Because Clara, if you know her, she's humble, she's quiet, she's calm. Her teammates are over there. They can attest that she crossed the finish line and walks off. You know, just for one celebration. So it's like her light has to be dimmed. They want to make her feel less than. That's what I'm here to let her for. No, you are more than that. That's what I come in for. That's what I'm here for. So I'm going to wrap this up here. Appreciate everybody. Coach T, appreciate you being part of our camp. It's made a lot of difference. Like I said, I never knew what help can do until you get it. That's Tesla Sports Academy right here, partnered with Cheetah Athletics. That's us. Thank you, Theo Joy, always being there. Coach Chris, always being there. He started the, what's that site called? Somebody know nothing about that. Change.org. That was because of Chris. He called me. We talked about it. So let's get a petition. We get these signatures. I'm right here picking up these pieces. You know what, Chris? Go ahead and do it. Go do it. Go get the signatures. I wake up 900 signatures, just from waking up. You know, now we're at about 3,500 signatures right now. It's up there. So just want to thank everybody, the whole community. Thank everybody. Appreciate you.
Excellent. Thank you.
So thank everybody for coming out. We appreciate it. You know, my niece is a shining light, like her dad said, and you know, to be here today under these circumstances is unfortunate, but we're going to get justice for Claire, and the right thing is going to happen. You know, well, I'm going to tell you guys one other thing. There was another meet she was at, and one of those officials threatened her to DQ her. I can't remember what the situation was, but I'm like, who was this guy? And when David went looking for him, he was gone. What meet was that, David?
CCS finals.
Another CCS finals. Some white dude threatened her, I'll DQ you or something. And then when David went looking for him, he disappeared. So, you know, apparently.
Look at the clock.
Huh?
She was just trying to, like, finish a race.
Yeah.
She was trying to go look at that clock.
Right.
Big clock.
To see how she did.
That's all she was trying to do.
And he told her he would DQ her. So apparently she's been in their sights for all the wrong reasons. But now they got my attention. And I'm telling you right now, they're going to do the right thing or they will pay for it. You know, those people who DQ'd her, I want to find out who their names are. I know who's running this CIF. I know who the president is. I got your picture too, ma'am. And so, listen, we're coming for you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you for coming. We're good.
For sure. Definitely.
Love you. You're a queen. You're a queen.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. They appreciate it. We all in this together. Yeah, for real. For real.